How to set career goals. Do you want exponential growth in your career? I mean, I'm talking really, like everybody says it, but do you really, really want it? Would you like to know how to do it? Would you like to know a method to set goals that is pretty cool that will actually get the results? And do you want to know how to stay on track? If any of those were a yes, then you are in the right place. This is exactly where you need to be. So let's go. All right, so this is a jam. I want you to know I may not be good at a lot of things, but I'm definitely good at this. Every role that I ever had, I would completely map it out, align it to where I was. I'm being serious. If you think I'm making this up for a YouTube video, we're way off here. Like I 100% did this, right? So where do I want to go? How do I need to get there? What books do I need? What resources do I need? What kind of place of work do I need? Where do I need to live? Like the whole nine, like designing my life around where I wanted to be at work and with my family. It's absolutely a jam. So let me start with this. This is huge, and I learned this from Tony Robbins. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So if you think about what is success, do I have the money, the watch, the position, the title, right? Whatever it is, like, am I successful, right? And then fulfillment is, do I enjoy what I'm doing, right? So there's so many people that come through boot camps or through our boot camps and that are like reprogramming during boot camps, or go through our trainings, or that we're consulting with, that are like, yeah, I've made it to owner or vice president or general superintendent or something, and they're like, I'm not happy, right? So these people have been wildly successful, but they're not fulfilled. And so if you think about it, success, right? The money and the position, right? And all of these other things without fulfillment and enjoyment and time with your family and like accomplishing your purpose, like that is the ultimate failure. And I don't want that for you. So let's learn how to set those goals together. When you're setting those goals, there's two things that I want you to remember. Number one, there's this concept of compounding interest, which is that if you start early on in your life saving money in the right accounts, not a savings account, right? Like investing, right? You can invest in real estate or on the stock market, or a number of different areas, right? Or high risk retirement accounts, or medium risk, right? If you start to, and by the way, this is not financial advice, that's illegal, right? I'm not qualified to do that. But if you start to invest early on, and you take like 5, 10, 15, 20% of your income and you invest it, you can be a multimillionaire by the time you're 55, 60, 65, right? That's the concept. And most people are like, no, I'm going to spend it, I'm going to spend it, I'm going to spend it, right? And I'll figure out my retirement later. But the power in becoming a multimillionaire for most people is in that compounding interest. It's in the return that other people give you in their ability to use your money when you invest it, right? The same thing goes with your careers. You've got to start the compound interest. So that means there is no position that you're ever in, even if you're a janitor, which by the way, I don't look down on. I think that's fantastic. Like I love janitors, right? Or if you're in a labor position or an entry-level position, there's no unimportant position. In those roles, you're starting your career compounding interest right then and there. Meaning you're going to start learning, you're going to start growing, you're going to start adapting, you're going to start connecting right then and there. Never waste your time. So the earlier on you start to plan your career, the earlier on you start to learn things that will help your career, the earlier on you know where you're going, the better off you're going to be. Number two, I want you to think about the goal setting with this frame. And I learned this at Rapport Leadership International. It's fantastic. You're going to want to know this right now. What they had us do is they said, hey, write down when you were born, the year you were born, how old you are, and draw a line and with little tick marks for however many years old you are. And then write down all of the important things in your life, like when did you get married? When did you have your first child? Your first promotion? You wrote this book, whatever it is. And then they said, and this is important, I hope you're paying attention. Then they said, okay, great, you've got 15 to 30 items there, that's really connected, it's emotional, like you love that, it's right here. Now, draw a line from where you are today to the end of your life and decide when you're going to die. It's kind of a fun exercise, but I'm like, okay, I'm kicking the bucket at 89 or 95 or whatever, right? I don't know that I want to live to 100. Now write down the things you will accomplish from here to then. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do, right? So I'm like, okay, I want to write a book. I want to do family reunions with the family. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then when you really dig deep, you start to understand that it's about giving, it's about family, it's about people, it's really about sharing your knowledge, right? It's really about people. I'm sorry that there wasn't like a huger reveal there, but like, it's all about people. And so when you think about it, it's like, I want to be with my kids. I want to have an inclusive environment. I might want to start my kids with their own businesses. I want to travel the world. I want to make a difference in the industry. I want to share my wisdom with other superintendents. I want whatever it is. It's typically about people, right? So when you're setting goals, just remember that fulfillment piece and the people piece when you're setting your goal planning. And remember that your compounding interest isn't just about money, and it's not just about positions, it's about the people that you accrue throughout your life. And so if you have that proper framework, we're ready to start setting goals. So let's do it right now. Okay, so before we start though, I would like to ask you, since it's all about people, would you consider subscribing to this channel so that we can connect together and stay together, and really you can collect me and I can collect you. How awesome is that? My challenge for you right now, like let's do this right now, is to subscribe to this channel so that you can keep getting this awesome content and keep progressing with me together. Okay, let's go. So there's a process. By the way, I'm going to link you in the description below to the template. Not a problem. If you ever need help from me, let me know. But when you're setting your goals, here's what I want you to do step by step. Step number one, I want you to think, where do you want to be at the end of your life? What do you want for your career? What do you want for your family? What do you want to have accomplished? When you die, right? What will people say about you? Can you at that moment look back on a trail of accomplishments instead of a slew of waste and regret, right? Can you look back on success? And if you were like, yep, check the box, I'm good, I'm ready to leave this world and leave a legacy, what would you have accomplished? This is probably the hardest thing that you'll ever do, but I need you to do it. That's step number one. Write that down now. Step number two, I want you, please, to write down what is your next 5 to 10 year goal, right? If that's what you're going to hit at the end of your life, or if that's your 100-year goal, what do you want to hit in the next 5 to 10 years? It's got to be big. It's got to be hard. But it has to be possible. And all that's going to do is anchor you to your next kind of massive milestone. So if you want, let me just give you an example. If you wanted to like take over field operations in your company, this is a work goal, not a family goal, but and really teach your whole organization, right? What would be your next 5 to 10 year goal? It might be to reach the position of senior superintendent or general superintendent, or to master the trade, or. But hey, if I'm headed to this 100-year, what's my next 5 to 10? I challenge you to write that down now. What is your next 5 to 10 year goal? Step number 3, and this is huge, and I want to anchor you to something that Tony Robbins always says. Kind of, I'm probably not getting this right, but he says, people overestimate what they can accomplish in 5 years and underestimate what they can accomplish in 3 or 6 months or a year. Here's why. If you only have large goals, 5 to 10 or 100, you're not going to start. You're not going to do it. You won't have the compounding interest. So in the next 90 days, what do you need to accomplish? What do you want to accomplish for your family, for yourself, and for your work? Write it down. Make sure it's possible, but it needs to be work. And if you take 90 days plus 90 days plus 90 plus, you will start that compounding interest exponential trend. So yes, you know where you're going long term. Yes, you know 5 to 10 years, but what are you doing today that will help you, your family, and your career? Those need to be written down. I usually recommend at least one, and if you're really busy, maybe only 2, but some people go in 90 days to 2 or 3 like really key things that they want to learn or do to progress in their career. And then you go to step number 4 is you put it in your leader standard work. So that means Monday through Friday, every week, you're going to take those 3 goals and carve out specific time to do them. Everybody sets goals, but very few people actually put it into their calendars. So your personal organization system is key. When you come to Wednesday, is there a trigger to accomplish that goal? When it comes to Thursday, is there a trigger to accomplish that goal? Friday, Monday, is there a trigger on your personal organization system? If there isn't, you're not going to accomplish anything. So step number 4 is pull those 90-day goals into your standard work and then execute. All you have to do, and it's this simple, once you have those goals, is do the tasks week in and week out, and that compounding interest will put you on that exponential trend. Now, quickly, I'll say if you want to prepare for a specific role and you're not just planning your life, here's the method I've always used. Step number 1, evaluate what is my role. Step number 2, find out what is the thing that only I can do in this role, and what are things that I should delegate. Like, what are people counting on me to be accountable for? Step number 3, and I'm being serious about this, like if it was a project or a role or a corporate position, where am I going to live, where my travel and location merges that role with my family in the best possible scenario so that I don't waste time. Step number 4, and this sounds even sillier, what does my desk need to look like? What is my computer, my screens, my environment? What does my office environment need to look like for me to accomplish this role? 5, do I have all the tools that I need to accomplish this role, right? Do I have everything that would be expected of me to make it frictionless when I execute on those expectations? 6, and this is an important one, this can tie to your life or your role, do I have the training? Like if I have goals for my life, I'm going to go get training if I don't know how to do it. Or if I'm heading into a role, I'm going to go get training if I don't know how to do it. So always design 6, training, into whatever you're doing. And 7, again, for your role, always create leader standard work. Just like you did for your life, you will create it for that specific role as well. If you follow these steps, then you will be focused, you will accomplish so much that by the time you are in full swing within your role or your life or your relationships, you will have a pattern and you will start winning. Remember, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, right? Practice makes permanent. So even in the beginning, you need to start practicing how you want to play and according to your outcomes. So whether you are doing long-term planning for your life, or you're doing planning for your role, or you just want to start compounding good things in your life, remember, yes, you want those big goals. Like I remember one time I was like, I want to start a company and have $700,000 in revenue. And right now we're multi-millions of dollars in this company, right? Like it was awesome to have that big goal. But that big goal meant nothing without the small incremental steps that I followed to get there. And remember this last bit of advice. In life, if the goal's too big, it could be too hard to approve financially, so break it down. And if the goal is too far away, it could be too hard to start. It's too far away for you to be motivated. So always, always, always break it into its smallest components. And if you do this, you will have massive success. I can help you. We teach this in our boot camps all the time. So please come to one of our Super PM boot camps or FEPE boot camps if you want to do this. We actually do this real time. But if you want to make exponential growth, start now, keep it small, be disciplined, and make sure you know exactly where you're going. In the description below, I'm going to give you a template you can use to map this out. And if you ever need anything, contact me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.